One thing I will not truly be able to understand is how many people feel comfortable getting online, getting on social media, getting on all these different platforms, and telling the world how much of a stupid individual they actually are, and expecting everyone to hold their hand out and say, "It's okay. It's not your fault. It's someone else's fault. You did absolutely nothing wrong. And how dare they treat you for such a reason that makes no sense to anyone who has a functioning brain." I will never truly understand that level of concept. You remember the video from, I believe, maybe 3 weeks ago, where a woman for some reason got on social media and lamented to the world that she's upset that she kind of got turned away at a job interview for how she was dressed, and she let her egotistical attitude actually ruin her actual chance at getting a job, which she may have wanted or she may not have wanted. And in her mind, she thought everyone was going to be kind to her, but a lot of people tore her to shit, rightfully, because, baby girl, what you were wearing is not up to their dress code. And if you really wanted that job, you would follow their dress code, because that's not your brand, that's not your business, that's not your company, that is their company, which you are applying to for employment. It would behoove you to actually operate under their rules, and then go home, get naked, play with yourself, and rinse repeat for the next day. That's all you got to do. Well, what if we up the ante just a little bit, and instead of having this be a conversation about what someone is wearing, we instead have a conversation about what they're not bringing, which is important documents, so that you can actually get into the building, get into the institution to prove who you are and verify who you are, so that you could get to the next step, which is the job application process. And for some reason, an individual thought it would be a great idea to, after making that mistake, get on social media and start egging on the company that they were trying to apply to, hoping that the peer pressure from the internet would lead to any form of promise.
Update, I'm crying because I forgot my fucking passport, and they're talking about, oh, you can't apply for another year. I'm not applying in a year, bitch. I'm gonna be at another airline. Thanks. So it was brought to my attention via email that United Airlines saw my post. They decided to say that I won't be eligible for rehire, even though I stated in the email that I wouldn't be applying again because of my experience. However, I do feel as though the email was intentionalized to be, what can I say, kind of like a retaliation bully type of situation. And I don't appreciate that. As an airline, you're not going to bully me. I did get all those little comments saying you should delete this. Airlines don't play about their social media policy, bada bing, bada boom. However, I'm not a part of the airline. I was just a part of the interview process. So I'm allowed to say how I felt during the experience. I'm allowed to cry. I'm allowed to feel how I feel, because every person that I talked to about this situation, they said I would have cried, which I did. And I explained exactly how I felt in that moment. And I'm allowed to have that. I'm allowed to be a human. But what throws me off is the fact that they're personally emailing me, sending me a screenshot of my face as if I don't know what I posted on this app. I know how I feel. You're not going to be, I can't be intimidated by United Airlines. I'm not scared of you. I'm not any of this. I know you guys want me to back down and say, hey, take my losses in stride, which I am. However, I still want people to know to bring your passport to your interviews. Like, I forgot mine because, guys, I'm working a double today. Like, I work really, really hard. Also, they don't know, but I visited my sick grandfather before I came to that interview, which is why I was all over the place. I even had to grab my passport from my sister's house. Like, it was actually a big mess. So for them to try to intimidate me with this email, which I will be sending screenshots, it wasn't even an intimidation email. It was more so like, it felt retaliation, because they're telling me that they won't hire me because of a social media post I made. But I already stated that I wouldn't be applying again in the social media post, so I really didn't even need to get that email. They also said, well, we told you 12 months, but now we're not. That's a retaliation tactic, and I don't appreciate that. And it's just really disheartening as, United Airlines. I'm not intimidated. I'm not scared. I know a lot of people are, but that was just my experience. That's how I felt, and it is what it is. Like, guys, it is what it is. I forgot my passport. It's okay, United. I still love you at the end of the day. Okay? Thanks. Oh, and I'm going to be posting the screenshots. Here's my reply. Screenshot if you want to.
And what's so funny about what I've seen is that a lot of people have been showing a little support to her because, common mistake, but her real need and desire to get on social media to cry about it as if it's someone else's fault that you decided to screw up something major for yourself, as if we're all supposed to pay attention to your life story for that long. And people had that thought and gave basic video responses of criticism. And you could imagine someone like this not having the proper response at all.
Watching so many young people out here ruin their own reputations before they even had a chance to really build a reputation. Like this young woman who went on that interview with United Airlines to become a flight attendant, and she was supposed to bring her passport, but she forgot to bring it. So the interview couldn't go forward, and they told her that she would have to wait a full year before she could reapply. She was very upset and crying in that initial video. She goes on to make several other videos continuing to complain, tagging United in these videos. United eventually reaches out to her via email and says, look, we don't ever want to work with you because of your social media presence. She says she doesn't care because she wasn't planning on reapplying and that she's moving on to other airlines. And I'm just like, girl, what other airlines? Do you really think any other airline is going to take you seriously? After you've spent the last several days dragging United Airlines across the World Wide Web? All for social media attention. Also, strangers that you don't even know will be on your side. Right? And honestly, that's not even the craziest part. I was absolutely astounded to see all of the dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of women that were in the comments of her videos supporting her, telling her that United fumbled her, that she dodged a bullet, that she should be able to put whatever she wants on her social media pages. And technically, they're not wrong. She should be able to put whatever she wants on her social media pages, but that doesn't mean that she shouldn't have to feel the consequences of that, right? Like, how did we get here as a society? This is a widespread belief, clearly, with this like younger generation, this new generation of young people entering the workforce, who seem to believe that they should be able to do whatever they want with no consequences, that they should be able to literally and figuratively show their ass on the internet, attached to their government name, and still be able to get the jobs that they want, the corporate jobs that they want, the jobs at United fucking Airlines, right? How did this mentality form? Is it from the parents? Like the parents teaching their kids that they're these really special snowflakes that deserve to, have whatever they want? Is it social media teaching, these young people that the most important thing in life is to be seen and known on a social media account? Is it both? Like, how did we get here?
For the tag, mama. I love my little minions tagging me, mama. All right, let's get to it. First of all, I couldn't pay attention because you look like my cousin. You look like literally one of my aunts. Number 2, reputation. Oh my God. One of the most famous motherfuckers in the world had a terrible reputation. Michael Jackson.
I understand that all of us, me included, like to have these moments in time where we are the main character. We like to view the world as nothing but side characters and side quests, while every time we go outside to check the mail, it's the most extravagant piece of cinema of all time. Here's the brutal reality. It is not. We are all some of the most boring individuals on the face of the earth who have to over-glamorize everything in order to make people pay attention to us. And for you to be so confident in your honest fuck up, to start crying, to start bitching, to start moaning, to start groaning, and then complaining when people give their arguably unsolicited advice, because you technically didn't ask for that. You just wanted to share your opinion and your viewpoint in your life on social media without realizing that the consequence of that is everybody's going to have a fucking opinion about what you say. It's amazing how people get so egotistical once they start being talked about in a manner that makes everyone realize that they're stupid as fuck. And madam, you are stupid as fuck. And I truly hope you do not get this opportunity at a job, because if you're that culpable to react this way to a mistake you made, I fear to think what would happen and what your reaction would be to a mistake that's out of your control. But because you work there and you're in a position to actually supposedly know about something in regards to your job, you would actually be become belligerent for not having the proper mechanism to understand what's going on. And you would probably start finger pointing everybody in regards to how it's not your fault for not paying attention to anything. A lot of people are bad at their social skills and their social cues. And as someone who is also bad at that, the best advice I ever got was don't broadcast that shit to social media, because the last thing you would want in a moment of your own turmoil is a bunch of people giving their fucking opinions, especially when it's not something you want to hear. So a word of advice from one fuck up to several fuck ups watching this video: don't do it. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your energy. Go play with yourselves. It's a better use of your time, and then you could fall asleep after. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Goodbye.